So this is a quick comparison between the DJI Osmo Action 4 and the Osmo Action 6. I've been using both and I'll be upfront right away. I love the Action 6 and to be honest, that's the one I'm going to personally recommend. But, and there's a big but, at around £192, the Action 4 is still an incredible camera and in some situations it can actually look better. So let me explain. So I thought I'd come out and test the Action 6 against the Action 4 and I was debating whether to come out today because it's a bit grey and dull as you can see, but sometimes this is the best time to test a camera like this because it's slightly low light and you'll sometimes notice a bit of noise on skin tones in the background. So what do you think? The Osmo Action 6 is on my right, the Osmo Action 4 is on my left. I'll mark it of course on the screen. The sound is coming from the DJI Mic 2. What do we think? We'll do a few further tests today. And as I say, actually quite good light for testing this out. Now, these sort of action cameras don't look the best in light like this, I find. But with that new sensor on the Action 6, will this improve things to a whole new level compared to the Action 4? Now, on some of the test footage that I've seen so far, I honestly haven't seen a huge difference between the Action 6 versus the Action 4. I'm quite surprised how good the Action 4 is. And I didn't go for the Action 5 because I thought the Action 4 looked better. So I'm still debating whether I should even keep the Action 6, maybe sell it and keep the Action 4, or switch over. I think I'll get a better idea after all of these tests. So first of all, let's talk about the big difference and why the Osmo Action 6 exists when the Action 4 and 5 are already out. Now, the biggest difference between these two isn't just specs, it's how they're designed to be used. So the Action 6 has DJI's new square sensor, and that's a really huge deal if you create content for more than one platform. So you can shoot once, punch in for Shorts or TikTok without losing loads of quality. Now, if you're a modern creator, that alone is a massive win for the Osmo Action 6. So another big upgrade on this Action 6 is the variable aperture. You can switch between f2.0 and f4, which gives you more controls depending on the kind of situation that you're filming in. Essentially, f2.0 helps in lower light, so it has better low light performance than the Action 4, but you can also switch it to f4, and this essentially helps in bright sunlight. So sometimes it means you don't need to reach for ND filters if you're trying to get that motion blur. Now, let's be honest, it doesn't entirely replace the need for ND filters, but it's genuinely useful, especially for run and gun shooting, and it's handy in night situations as well. Now let's talk about 8K photos and cropping headroom. The Action 6 also adds 8K video. I actually did a video on this recently, so if you want to see that video, you can click up here. It's actually not as big as a deal as I thought it would be, but you can film in 8K on the 6 and you can't film in 8K on the 4. But what it does mean is you have much higher resolution photos compared to the Action 4, and it gives you loads more room to crop in or maybe stabilize in post. There are some programs, if you're filming in 8K, essentially it means you can crop in 4 times before losing that resolution. Now, will everyone need 8K? Honestly, probably not. And after using it and editing with it, it was pretty tricky. It really slowed down my M4 MacBook Air. And the final file, I wouldn't say looked massively better. Again, watch that video if you want to see the shot. It looked okay. It's there if you need it in a pinch, but I'm going to stick to 4K on the Action 6. But you know, it's all about flexibility in editing, so it is there if you need it. Okay, before I continue to tell you about the Action 4 and the Action 6, let me tell you about something that you can use on both of these cameras and the Action 5 to vastly improve the video quality coming from these two cameras. And that's the Editor's Keys Osmo Action LUTs. These are simple drag and drop LUTs that you can put onto your D-Log-M 10-bit footage from any of these cameras, and it's going to vastly improve the quality of the video coming from these cameras. Just check out these shots here. So next up, why should you even consider the Action 4 in 2026? So this is where it gets interesting between the two. The Action 4 uses a slightly more traditional sensor and has a fixed aperture. And in certain situations, especially normal daylight, for example, straightforward 4K footage, wide shots with no cropping, I think the Action 4 can look just as good and sometimes even more natural than the Osmo Action 6, which tends to shoot in an HDR mode, which you can't turn off anymore. I just think if you look at these comparisons here of me walking down the road, yes, the Osmo Action 6 is a bit brighter, but what do you think looks better? I'm still in the mindset where I think the Action 4 still looks good, and for 192 quid, it's punching well above its weight. And remember, the Action 4 still films in 4K up to 120 frames per second. It has excellent stabilization, equally as good as the Action 6. It has a wide field of view, very, very reliable colors. It's very easily to color grade. And crucially, it's 192 pounds. This is in early 2026 if you're watching this video. This is phenomenal value. And remember, these are action cams. And I think for action cams, you need to remember where you're going to be using these, and it can depend on your use case. But if you're filming and vlogging and that's all you're going to use it for, okay, go with the Action 6. But the Action 4, if you're going to mount it on a car, if you're going to take it in the sea, throw it in a bag without overthinking it, you know, I think this could be still the camera to get even in 2026, especially if you're on a budget. Typically, as I start filming, it starts to rain. So I'm going to try and go into the nearest park, duck for cover, try and get some more shots of these two cameras. But again, just as you're watching these versus videos, I've got them both set as close as possible to the same settings, both on -2 for sharpness and noise, the most similar bit rates, the most similar horizon balancing and things like that. So really what you're looking at is, does one look better than the other? Is one introducing more noise? Is one better when we go into slightly low light situations? Let's continue and get some more tests. Okay, you're going to go through some dark patches at the moment. Now, on the back of the screen at least, I'm actually surprised. I think the Action 4 maybe looks better in certain situations. Let me know in the comments below, and obviously I'll comment once I've seen this in post. Definitely the Action 6 is performing better in lower light situations, I can tell you that for sure. But I still don't think the Action 4 is really that bad for, you know, 2.5-year-old camera. Still pretty good. Now, one thing I'm noticing actually is the horizon balancing on the Action 6 seems to take ages to get back to a flat level. The Action 4 sort of levels out quite quickly. The Action 6, quite a few times I've had to stop recording,
change the horizon balancing settings. So a little bug I'm having there, I think, and also on a different day, the bitrate keeps going back to standard. I keep saving it as a profile as well. No matter what I do, it keeps occasionally going back to standard bitrate, which isn't great.
Next, let's talk about the battery, storage, and some more practical stuff. The Action 6 does have some quality of life upgrades. For one, it has built-in storage, which this doesn't have, up to 50 gigabytes. So if your SD card gets lost or you don't have it on a holiday, you can still record on this itself. It also has built-in storage as backup, which is really, really good. It has longer claimed battery life. I didn't see a massive difference, but longer battery life is always good. And day-to-day use, both cameras, I think, are solid and dependable. Really no stress with either. There's just a simple record button on top, and that's all you need to do to get recording. So here's my honest take. If you're posting to multiple platforms quite regularly, if you're framing content a lot, or you want the most future-proof option, get the Osmo Action 6. That's the one I would buy right now today. But if you mainly shoot standard 4K video, you don't need to constantly crop your videos. You're happy to film in 16:9 and then portrait for the odd occasion where you may be filming portrait mode, and you want maximum value for money with image quality, which is almost still as good as the Action 6. The Action 4 at £192 is still an absolute steal. In fact, I'd rather someone buy the Action 4, save a bit of money, and maybe spend that difference on mounts for your car, batteries, ND filters, or audio, because that's where you're going to see a big difference with a camera like this. This is where this camera can really shine. So don't stretch yourself unnecessarily if you are looking for a starter camera. Of course, if you're a pro, you're going to go for the 6. If you're starting out on your YouTube channel, if you want an additional camera, if this is something you're just using on holidays, still go for the Action 4. Okay, so let's round this out. Both are excellent cameras. The Action 6 is the smarter, more flexible choice, but the Action 4 proves that older doesn't mean outdated. Let me know in the comment section below which one you would go for, and if you want, we can do some more real-world tests here on this channel, but I'll link to all of the other DJI Osmo Action 6 and 4 videos that we have, so you can watch those after watching this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.